never to be seen. And today they are saying, my brothers and sisters, they are loyalists. They are saying that they have built the UNC. Built the UNC with what? With fabrication. My brothers and sisters, let us examine carefully. Let us dissect. They are claiming 11 defeat. Look at what has transpired under the leadership and the tenure from 2010 to 2015. I want you all to listen, my brothers and sisters. Where our mothers, our single mothers were prior to the 2010 and where they were after the victory of Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the United National Congress coalition government. My brothers and sisters, single mothers were taken care of. People who had jobs. I am a businessman and I stand here today. People are crying out. People are suffering. And we ask the question, my brothers and sisters, what has the PNM done to make sure that the citizenry of this country is taken care of? Where are those vocal voices? Those persons, my brothers and sisters, who are making all those charming claims that they are founders of the party and they will make this and they will break this. My brothers and sisters, I stand here today to tell you all that the decision, and I've never heard Kamla Persad-Bissessar made any other claim that she is going to contest, and whoever wants to contest, go right ahead. The persons who are members of the Loyalist Party, the Loyalist UNC members, they are going to make their choice come election day, my brothers and sisters. Those of us who are traversing the pathways, those of us who are walking on the corridors, and those of us who are the ground root soldiers, we are seeing, my brothers and sisters, that Mamagai talk, that big truck movement, and those big banners, and those big flyers that you are putting up, it's not going to take you anyway. My brothers and sisters, I want you all to understand that. Do not be fooled. They are getting money, yes. They are getting money while you and I starve. While our sons and daughters are thrown on the breadline, you ask yourself, where is this finance coming from? Who are doing those big billboards? These are questions that you need to ask. If by chance, God forbid, maybe this executive maybe have some changes, do you think that they're going to represent you? After seeing, after knowing, my brothers and sisters, what they have done when the election campaign was on, where were they? Where were they? What were they doing, my friends, my brothers and sisters? It is about time that you stand, and you stand up with your heart, not only your feet. Stand up with your heart, my brothers and sisters, and pledge your full support to the Kamla Persad slate. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar is a leader. She's a leader. I want to tell you all something, my friends, my brothers and sisters, again. When we look at the characteristics of those persons who are vying, you want to be a leader, man? You want to be a leader? Act like a leader. Today we are not doing that. We feel that, you know what, we're going to buy votes. You're not going to buy votes this time. People are not stupid. People are thinking with their minds. Look at, let us foresee. Is there any futuristic plans that they have? Is there any plans that they have, my brothers and sisters? And whatever plans that they had, they shared with their enemies. They shared their plans with their enemies when our beloved leader opened her arms and welcomed them. Come in, share your ideas, be part of the UNC. Where were you all 5 years? Where were you all, my friends, my loyalist friends, and my unloyalist friends? Where were you? My brothers and sisters, today, I'm saying this with my heart. I am privileged, I am honored to open this function. And I ask you, those of you who are locked on and watching this, do not be fooled. The person who changed the life of many citizens of this country was Kamla Persad-Bissessar. 7,000 food items were removed from the VAT list. Think about it. My friends, my brothers and sisters, just imagine they are attacking our leader, our party, with that vociferous actions, as though we are the enemies. I am telling you all today, my brothers and sisters, do not in your wildest imagination put your X anywhere else beside by that star. My friends, my brothers and sisters in Central, in South, in North, in East, in West, you have a civic duty. You have to save your country. You have to be part and parcel of the rebuilding process. And how do you do that? Don't run from your responsibility. I stand here today and ask you, come out Sunday the 6th of December, put your X by the rising star. By that rising star, my brothers and sisters, that is going to bring the horizon of success, the horizon of peace and tranquility back to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It will take a little time, yes. Because some of you are wondering, you know, when is our turn? When is our turn? Our turn is now. You have to start again. Rebuild. Do not be disheartened. Do not be disenchanted. Come out, put your X by the star slate, every single person. Do not select. Our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and the team, they have already went through this debate and they have selected the best candidates for you to represent this party. My brothers and sisters, as I close, I want to mention something to you all. Very, very important. You see this thing called pride? You see this thing called pride, my brothers and sisters? It makes an individual artificial. This thing called pride, it makes a person, an individual, an artificial person. And you see this thing called humility, it makes you real. And that is what I have seen under the leadership of our beloved leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I say no more. I say no more, my friends. Come Sunday, December the 6th. Come out early, join us, put your X by the star, and make sure that we go outside there and meet people and bring people to vote, my brothers and sisters. That is the way we're going to bring change back to our country. And that is the way we are going to bring back sanity back to humanity. I thank you. May God bless you. May God bless our leader. May God bless our country, Trinidad and Tobago, and remove the roots of all evil. And you know what is that? I thank you. Good night.
3 years before the 1995 general election, when Mr. Bastille Pandey became Prime Minister, it was in 1992 when Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar became a senator in the parliament. She built the momentum and built the hope and the faith in the country when she made her contribution in the Senate to give the youths and the country that hope that we will see government. It happened in 1995 and then again in 2010 to 2015 when this country had a paradise under her leadership as Prime Minister.
Speaking not just as a councillor, but as a proud member of the UNC, elections are about taking a side. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar has shown that she has always been on ours.
From her style of leadership, she has been able to attract all sections of this population to the United National Congress.
I'm supporting the leader in this election because there's no better person than the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our political leader, who can definitely keep a team together.
It is important for us, not only as members of the UNC, but me as a female, to endorse and support the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar because of her vision, of her compassion and care.
So she must be commended, and our leader has shown compassion not only from our young but not so young also. And you would see right in the Princeton Regional Corporation, where I am a sitting councillor, together with my colleagues, you would see many young faces. And she has given that strength of hope.
And I believe that the political leader, one of her best attributes is that she always makes you feel comfortable when you are in her presence. There's no doubt she makes you feel comfortable, therefore you perform at your best, you react at your best when you are comfortable.
It's very essential for each and every member to come out and vote. A vote is not only for you, but a vote for the future generation to come in terms of leaders. This is where we will be able to take our country forward. So on December 6th, vote for the star. Vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
On December 6th, come out and vote for the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STARS team. And let's continue to work for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Pleasant good night, brothers and sisters. I am Ravi Rathiram, your party organizer, and I will be contesting the portfolio of party organizer on the upcoming internal election on the 6th of December. Tonight, I am joining my sister, I.A.N, as our deputy political leader, and tonight, I am co-hosting with her in tonight's program. Brothers and sisters, we have been traveling the length and breadth of our country meeting with constituents, meeting with executive officers, meeting with various office holders of the United National Congress, and meeting with members of our great party. We've been to Moruga, Naparima, Barrackpore, along the east-west corridor, throughout central Trinidad. And one thing I can tell you for certain, brothers and sisters, is there is an overwhelming support, an overpouring outflow of support for our leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Brothers and sisters, tonight you are going to hear from a battery of speakers why we support and endorse the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and we must not at any point in time allow the leadership of this great party to fall into the wrong hands. Our next speaker on tonight's program is no stranger to the UNC. He has fought 2 general elections representing the party in the Northwest region of Diego Martin, Northeast, brothers and sisters. He is a qualified commercial pilot, and this gentleman holds 2 masters, one in business administration and one in law. He is our current Northwest Regional Coordinator, and on the 6th of December, he is going to be re-elected as our Northwest Regional Coordinator. Let us welcome my brother, Eli Zachar.
Thank you, Ravi. Political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, my fellow colleagues, and to the viewing and listening membership, good evening. As your current and future Northwest Regional Coordinator, I proudly say that the Diego Martin constituencies, Diego Martin Northeast, Diego Martin West, and Diego Martin Central, stand firmly with the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as political leader for our great party of the United National Congress. Over the last 31 years, this party has seen many seasons, but under the prestigious leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we have grown from strength to strength to strength. This country experienced undeniable growth and progress between 2010 and 2015, with Mrs. Persad-Bissessar as our first female Prime Minister. She has proven during this period that she is a leader who stands by the people and for the people. 5 years later, what is this country's reality now under the Rowley-led administration? We are all now, every one of us, reeling from a failed economy. The state of our national security is more dire than it has ever been. Our porous borders render us destabilized at every level. Over 100,000 people are now on the breadline. Our foreign reserves are being depleted, and our children are now faced with the most dismal future. Just look at the difference, my brothers and sisters. Our beloved leader has always put the well-being of our children in this country first, because she has a vision. She knows that an investment into our children plants a seed for a brighter tomorrow for this nation. By contrast, what is the PNM doing for our children? What is their vision for our future? Petrotrin is gone. Our energy sector is in shambles. Gate is gone. Parents have to struggle to educate their children who are now out of school due to COVID, because this government has refused to assist our children with laptops and other devices. There have been massive budget cuts for the already strained social services which our leader put in place for the protection of our children, like the Children's Authority, which is now being set up for failure. My brothers and sisters, the signs are clear. Now more than ever, we need a leader with a heart for the people. We need a leader with a vision, a leader who is not concerned only with self-promotion and self-gain, a leader who has proven commitment to the people of this nation, a leader who has a proven track record and the experience to pull this country out of the dire situation. Now, more than ever, this country needs the leadership of the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. She is the only leader who has proven her loyalty and commitment to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking of loyalty, or should I say the lack thereof, Vasam Bharat has a goal to present himself as a better option for this party and for this nation. The same person whose political career was built on the grace and goodwill of our honorable leader now turns his head in ingratitude to bite the hand that fed him. Is this the kind of leader that this party needs, that this country needs? A man who knows nothing about loyalty and is only concerned about himself. Our esteemed political leader has just come out of a hard fight in one of the most important general elections in our nation's history. And the polls are clear. She remains the people's choice. But Vasant, tell me this. Where were you when the true and faithful soldiers of the UNC were down in the trenches, reaching out to the people and fighting for this country's democracy? You didn't care about the party then. Where were you last September when there was massive flooding in Diego Martin and we were on the ground assisting persons in need? Where were you for the last local government election when 10 of our candidates were fighting the PNM in Diego Martin? Where were you for the 2020 general election when Marshall Riley Walker was fighting the Prime Minister in Diego Martin West? I was fighting the Minister of Finance in Diego Martin Northeast, and John Lackey's fighting in Diego Martin Central. How can we trust a man who has the audacity to post on social media yesterday his CV, which contains all the parliamentary positions that was gifted to him by the political leader? And instead of thanking her for giving him political life, he betrays her. Vasant, you should call the honorable leader tonight and thank her. But Vasant, let me ask you, did you post your CV for the UNC or the PNM? Because the only time you may ever get another parliamentary appointment is if the PNM gives it to you. You can ask Gypsy for a recommendation. How can we have faith and confidence in a man who can't be bothered to go and see firsthand the plight of the people? Vasant was too busy sipping his Earl Grey tea in Movie Town to go into the bowels of Diego Martin with the rest of us. And now he pretends that he wants to lead this party. We are not blind, Vasant. We see your true motives and intentions and that of your sycophantic followers. And it has nothing to do with the well-being of the country or our beloved party. We boldly and uncategorically and without reservation stand by our leader, our true leader, our own leader, and the only person who can bring hope for this country. Our leader for the past 10 years and counting, the past and future Prime Minister of this nation, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We will stand hand in hand with Ms. Bissessar to continue the fight. We will never give up on our nation. We cannot turn our backs on our children who needs us the most now. We will fight for decency, fight for our national security, fight for democracy, fight for the future of this nation. God bless the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the only true leader of the UNC. God bless the UNC, and God bless Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you and good night.
Thank you, my brother Eli Zakur, our very energetic and hard-working Northwest Regional Coordinator, who will continue in the trenches, who has been successful in increasing votes in the constituencies within that region. My friends, before we introduce the next speaker, I want to share with you some of the locations of the polling venues and polling stations for the national executive elections to be held on Sunday, December 6th. Voting will take place between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and you must walk with your ID card. In Arima, you vote at the Upper Malabar Community Center. In Aruca Maloney, you vote at the Maloney Regional Complex. Barataria San Juan, you vote at the Don Miguel Hindu School. Caroni Central, you vote at the Upper Carapichaima Presbyterian School. Caroni East constituency, you will be voting at the Warrenville Presbyterian School. Shoguanas East, you vote at Endeavour Hindu School. Shoguanas West, you vote at Charlieville Presbyterian School. Couva North constituency, you vote at the Orangefield Hindu School. In Couva South, you vote at the Exchange Presbyterian School. In Kumuto Manzanilla, you vote at the Grosvenor Presbyterian School. As we continue tonight, we will share more of our polling stations. But I want you to join me as I welcome to the podium a man who is no stranger to the UNC, who has been with us in the trenches. He works just as hard whether he holds a position or not. He was our Northwest Regional Coordinator in the past, but he is our candidate to return as the Elections Officer on this current National Executive. Join me as we welcome Brother Don Sylvester.
Thank you, Sister Kadisha. Good night, Honorable Leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and all our candidates. Brothers and sisters, I still cannot understand what medication Vasant Bharat is taking. This man doesn't understand that the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar perused Digo Martin before she was Prime Minister, when she was Prime Minister, and after being Prime Minister. Vasant, you know where Scorpion is in Carnage? Vasant, go Scorpion and ask the people. Between you and the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who do you choose? You know, up on the hill in Kokorit, where I was today? Go and ask the people. Our Honorable Leader was in Digo Martin in a funeral, my nephew's funeral, and she was mobbed by the people of Covey Road. The point I'm making is that we are comparing cheese with chalk. And I want to tell Mr. Chalk, you will get it. Not the victory, you will get the blows. Because you're ungrateful. And Judas had to pay. And you will pay. You must pay. Because this Honorable Leader of the UNC, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, worked and worked and worked for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All over Trinidad and Tobago. She came to Digo Martin. She did work there. She ensured in Carnage, they started the fish market. She ensured there was a school in Point Kumana. She ensured the highway was extended. And we can go on and on and on. I will not go on and on. What I will do is continue to work hard to ensure that the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar returns as the leader of the United National Congress come the 6th, Sunday coming. And mark my word, this is just the beginning, and you will see more and hear more of our great leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thank you.
Let's get back to business and strengthen the party and get back to governing this great country. Put your X by the star, put your X by the star, put your X by the star for Team UNC. Put your X by the star, put your X by the star, put your X by the star for Team UNC.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Moving on with tonight's program, I want to share with you some additional venues where voting will be taking place on the 6th of December. That is this Sunday, the 6th of December, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. In the constituency of Dabadi Omira, voting will take place at the Upper Malabar Community Center. Digo Martin Central, Digo Martin Northeast, and Digo Martin Northwest will all be voting at the Digo Martin Community Center. In the constituency of Faizabad, voting will take place at Siparia Road KPA School. In Libre, the voting will take place at the Rosilak Hindu School located at Recreation Ground Road in Rosilak. La Hoqueta Talparo constituency, voting will take place in Brazil RC Primary School. Lavantil East, Mova, Lavantil West, Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, and Port of Spain South will all be voting at the SWWTU Hall, Ryson Road, Port of Spain. Lopino, Bonnet West, voting will take place at the Five Rivers Hindu Primary School. In Mayaro, the voting will take place at the Rio Claro Hindu School. Maruga Tablan will take place at the Rochard Douglas Presbyterian School. And in Naparima, voting will take place at the Lengua Presbyterian Primary School. Remember, brothers and sisters, the voting time is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You need to walk with a photo ID, whether it is your driver's permit, your passport, your ID card. And only persons whose names are on the list will be allowed to vote. Moving on with this evening's program, brothers and sisters, our next speaker that we call to address you is a very successful business entrepreneur in the finance and insurance sector. He holds a Master in Business Administration, a BSc in Applied Mathematics, and a BA in Administrative Studies. This gentleman has served this party for many years and continued to be a loyal soldier of the United National Congress. He has served as a chairman of the National Petroleum and Marketing Company. He has been a campaign manager on multiple occasions in the constituency of St. Joseph, and he continued to close that gap in that constituency of St. Joseph, which we only lost by approximately 800 votes, and he will tell you more of the experience that took place there in that battle. Let us welcome to the podium our brother Neil Gosain.
Good night, brothers and sisters, honorable political leader, and all protocols observed. Tonight I want to bring greetings from the STAR team and the next political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I am Neil Gosain, the candidate for the Northeast Regional Representative. And I really want to know why Vasant picked this fight. Why is he trying to challenge our leader, for political leader of this party? And I want to say why that is such a bad choice. After he lost St. Joseph's seat by over 1,500 votes in 2015, we underground in St. Joseph never saw him again, until just recently. We're still looking for him to make an appearance since the last general election. Not one day have we seen Vasant in St. Joseph until he decided to go up as political leader, and then he make a token appearance in Farm Road. He wasn't on the ground in the 2020 elections, and he wasn't in the trenches. He wasn't with the UNC battling for St. Joseph, battling for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, like our leader. I want to tell you that we will bring home victory for Kamla Persad-Bissessar on December the 6th. And just like in 2015, when Vasant got a beating of his life by 20 times the number of votes that Kamla Persad-Bissessar got, the same outcome is inevitable. In 2015, he got approximately 800 votes, where Kamla Persad-Bissessar got over 17,000 votes. When I was chosen by our political leader to undertake the task for being the Northeast Regional Coordinator, and a task that will reunite the electrical flame on the ground, I accepted without hesitation. The STAR team chosen by our political leader will secure the future of this party and build the party for generations to come. What a great team, what a great leader, what passion the team and our leader have, what dedication they have, what warmth and love they have. The love and passion that flows from a caring leader like Kamla Persad-Bissessar is what flows through each and every of our team member, the STAR team. The team that our leader has built from blood, sweat, and tears must continue and continue to grow and develop because of her own mantra. Her mantra of serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. Many of the time I've heard her said these exact words. Her love for the people in this party and the citizens of our nation always comes first to Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her team that includes the MPs, the councillors, the aldermen, the shadow councillors. They continue to give their all for this great party. UNC family, I want to be honest with you. The fight is really with the PNM, and what Vasant has forgotten is that. I can say, I want to say, we want to know where all the money goes and where it is spent from budget to budget every year under the PNM. We are in such a state of disaster. Our roads are deplorable. Our beloved Port of Spain, Queen Street, is called the toilet of Port of Spain. After 64 years of PNM control, they are the toilet of Port of Spain now. Not my words, but our Honorable Prime Minister's words. What a disgrace. How sad for our citizens, how sad for us. So, let me tell you, let's bring our family together as one UNC family. No division, no fighting. Let's stick together and bring good governance under the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Our persons, our citizens, our children are forgotten under the PNM and they are disposable. Our team under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar will continue to fight for you, to represent you, and continue to help our citizens. We have helped you out of government and we will help you more when we get back into government. I tell you this, UNC family, this leader doesn't stop. We do not stop. We, the UNC, will help the poor. We will help the abandoned. We will help the downtrodden. We will hold hands and we will rise with the UNC. We all will come together against this common enemy, the PNM. The entire country will come under the UNC banner. Follow the star. Vote for the star. And let's put Kamla Persad-Bissessar back as our leader. I thank you.
My friends, that is Neil Gosain, our candidate on the star slate for Northeast Regional Coordinator. And those of you listening to us live, we continue to encourage you to go out and vote on Sunday 6th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And our polling stations is Oropuch East, Parvati Girls College, Oropuch West, San Francisco Hindu School, Point Fortin, you vote at the Cedras Community Center. Pointe-à-Pied, you vote at Union Presbyterian School. Princestown, you vote at St. Julian Presbyterian School. San Fernando East, you vote at St. John's Community Center. And San Fernando West, you vote at the Naparima Boys College. We encourage all of you to go out and vote. And I want you to welcome with me our coordinator for the South region, a lady who is always very vociferous, who always stands up and comes out. She's a hard worker in the field and in the trenches. She is a local government councillor, but her representation goes far beyond her own electoral district. our hard-working South Coordinator, Ms. Shanti Budram.
Good night, everyone. Honorable Leader, members of the STAR team, ladies and gentlemen, the viewing audience. I am Shanti Budram, and I am your South Regional Coordinator for the United National Congress. And I am going to win again and become your next South Regional Coordinator for the United National Congress. This evening, I feel honored and privileged to stand with members of this dynamic STAR team under the leadership of the greatest and best Prime Minister of this country and my Member of Parliament for Siparia, Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as we prepare for victory at the polls on Sunday, December 6th. Together, we will continue to grow our great party and organize ourselves to recapture government once more. And I want to tell you, it will not be long again because the PNM will collapse. I want to send that message tonight that no propaganda, nothing will stop us. All that nasty nonsense that you all are writing about me and my family and every one of the councillors, aldermen, and everybody else. The Shanti Brigade will out your fire on December 6th. I am sending a message for you. If I have court closed and all those things that you are writing about me and my family, I stand here today. My hands are clean. My hands are clean. I am a proud UNC member. I have worked over 30 years as a member of this party. I have toiled the ground, walked street to street, make members of this party, UNC members, over 7,000 members in the Siparia constituency alone. I am telling you tonight, do not go. You're going in Lachus Road and you want to take the UNC members that we form in Goodman Trace. This evening you're walking and tell people vote for Vasant. Where was Vasant when the people in Lachus Road, Goodman Trace, Timal Trace, Clark Road in the southern area, where was Vasant when every one of you all were flooded out? Where were you? Where was Vasant? Did Vasant come and talk to you all? Kamla Persad-Bissessar was in the ground with us. Councillors, walk in the ground and meeting you all. Where were you when COVID is still here? Did you drop a hamper for anybody? Did you carry anything for anybody? Nothing. But today you want to come. Where were you when I was walking the ground with Sean Sobers in San Fernando West? Where were you? Vasant and your lotus. The lotus, they say, in the star will fall. The lotus don't dry up already. Right? Where were you? I walk with Sean Sobers and then I walk as the South Regional Coordinator together with the Shanti Brigade in Maruga. And we bring the seat home from Michelle Benjamin while you are with the PNM. Don't come and bring propaganda. That would not help you because the people on the ground have already said who they're voting for. 18 members in the STAR team and Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar will lead us back into government and she will be the political leader again on Sunday, December 6th. I am sending this message for you all. Don't hide in a cabal page and come out, be man. All I want to be man, I am woman and I am proud. Don't hide. I am woman, I am Shanti Budram. My hands are clean, I tell you again. You could bring all the police, you could bring all the investigator, you could bring the commissioner. I afraid nobody because my hands are clean. I stand here today and I'm proud of my leader. I worked with her for over 25 years and she have represented us, not only the Siparia constituency, but she have worked right through this country. I wasn't going to talk tonight, but I got the opportunity to talk and I hope you all know that today is a day that I am telling you, Vasant and your team, don't hide. And the rest of you all, what is doing it, stop it. Stop it, because God don't sleep and the truth will prevail. I thank you all on December 6th. Thank
Let's give it up for our South Coordinator Shanti Budram and the Shanti Brigade. And you have heard for yourself, brothers and sisters, from our speakers as they continue. There are persons outside there who were nowhere around during those trying, difficult times. During COVID-19, under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our members came forward and distributed face masks. Over 60,000 face masks went out there. We did lunches for underprivileged families. Over 22,000 lunches went out. 500 lunches every single day to all parts of this country. Brothers and sisters, we were on a hamper drive, a hamper distribution to the length and breadth of this country for needy families, because we are guided by the leader of the United National Congress and her mantra to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. That is what the leadership of Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar represents, brothers and sisters. Moving on with our program, I want to share with you some other locations where voting is going to take place. In the constituency of Siparia, voting will be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in all constituencies. And in Siparia, you all will be voting at the Shiva Boys College. St. Anne's East will be voting at Santa Cruz Presbyterian Primary School. In the constituency of St. Augustine, voting will take place at the Tunapuna Hindu Primary School. In the constituency of St. Joseph, voting will take place at the Arangwes Community Center. In Tabakit, voting will take place at the Happy Hill Hindu Primary School. Tobago East and Tobago West will be voting at Office Space Corner, Riseland and Canby Road, Tobago. In Toko Sangre Grande, voting will take place at the Sangre Grande Hindu Primary School, and in the constituency of Tunapuna, voting will take place at the El Dorado North Hindu Primary School. So, brothers and sisters, let us not leave anything to chance. The leadership of the United National Congress is a very important thing to you and all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Our next speaker will tell you more of how important that is. He is our Member of Parliament for Oropuch West. He holds an MBA, an LLB, an LPC, a BA in Economics. He's the former General Secretary of the UNC. And the next chairman, let us welcome MP Dave Tanku.
Thank you, MP. Thank you, MP Ratiram, our incumbent and incoming political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, members of Team Star, my brothers and sisters, good night. For over 30 years, the United National Congress has been the main voice against the tyranny of the PNM. Together, you and us, we have been the party that has fought for the people of this nation in the courts, on the streets, and in the parliament. No one can dispute that one of the most influential persons who has led this fight is the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. She fought for us while also helping us to build the tools and competence to fight for ourselves. Many of you fought side by side over the years, and we recognize and we thank you. From Anthony Moore in Point 14, the Sudama family in Mayaro, Pagay in Grandi, the Martins in Arima, Jailal and Nero in Tunapuna, Princess Smart, Smalley, Daphne Phillips, Awadi, the Nibas from Tulsa Trace, and so many more persons. Many of you sacrificed your time, walked with us, and contributed your blood, sweat, and tears to build this party into the formidable organization that it is today. And don't let them get away with telling you otherwise. The UNC is a powerful force. We are growing stronger and stronger as we move forward, and that is why they are anxiously fighting to gain control of this party. These UNC soldiers, these 18 UNC soldiers standing here today, are asking you to come with us, join with us as we continue to fight for you and our party come December 6th, 2020. Tonight we are here to reaffirm our commitment to the United National Congress and our faith in the leadership of our great party. I can tell you about the extensive work that has been done within the United Congress under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, because since 2010, I, like many of you, and my fellow candidates here, have walked foot to foot with her as she reshaped, redefined, and revived our party from the boys' club that it was to a national movement which could take on any threat to our democracy head on. She made us believe in the strength of unity, inclusion, and diversity. She made us believe in education and hard work. She made us see the potential in ourselves that we never recognized. She made us UNC and proud. Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, this election is not about changing the leadership of the UNC. This election is about recognizing how much we have built together to continue to build and to strengthen our great party. We live in a time when we see educated, successful professionals, university graduates, farmers tending their crops, business people, entertainers, country people, town people, school teachers, public servants, standing shoulder to shoulder, UNC and proud. That is because of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We live in a time when we have armies of volunteers reaching out to help in any way they can to make a difference, to be part of something bigger than themselves. That is because of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We live in a time, my brothers and sisters, when we could look on with pride as the most intelligent, accomplished, formidable opposition bench in the history of this nation stands up in every sitting of the parliament to viciously protect our country and people from this wicked, malicious PNM government. And that too is because of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And my brothers and sisters, the work is not done. Her work is not done. Our work is not done. You, the membership of this party, the councillors, all the men and all the women, members of parliament, senators, our street captains and party groups, constituency executives, coordinators, you, our die-hard supporters, you carry the mantra of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and you would have heard it several times already for the night, to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. Brothers and sisters, the UNC is a party that our citizens turn to during massive flooding. This is the party citizens turn to in the face of crisis, in the face of injustice. This is the party that citizens turn to during the COVID-19 pandemic. And for what? For relief, for help, for hope. One of the fundamental things that Kamla Persad-Bissessar has brought to the party and to this nation. Whether we are in government or not, this nation knows what the UNC and Kamla Persad-Bissessar stands for. Kamla cares. Whether we are in government or not, this nation knows that Kamla cares. After 2015, our leader picked us up and our party fought its way back to 42,000 more votes and additional seats in the local government elections of 2019. We didn't lose it, we won. We gained the hotly contested seat of Maruga Tableland in the general elections of 2020. And you know how we did that? You know who we beat? With your support, Michelle Benjamin won that seat fighting against the PNM elements in the media, and Vasant Bharat. It was his first curtail for 2020, and our next one coming soon. Our leader, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, have never given up on us. She has never given up on us. So how can we give up on her? To my loyal and faithful UNC family, how can we give up on a leader that has led us so well? This man, Vasant Bharat, keeps talking all kinds of things. More recently, he has been repeating in his cottage meetings that he will take the East-West corridor and sweep the UNC into government in 2025. Well, there are 17 seats on the East-West corridor. He couldn't take one when he had the chance. He could take 17? Really? This is the same man who has been telling people that Kamla Persad-Bissessar lost 11 consecutive elections. He is repeating the PNM mantra, word for word. Let me educate Mr. Vasan Bharat. Kamla Persad-Bissessar fought a general elections in 1995. And she has won every general election that she has fought. She's a member of parliament for Siparia from then till now. That is not loss. That is victory. That is a pattern of winning. That is a pattern of victory that Vasant will never understand. 2010 he lost. 2015 he lost. 2017 he ran away. 2020 he will lose again. This 11 consecutive losses, when challenged, when openly challenged, they put one of their fellows up, their researcher. What he had to say was he himself could not find where the losses were. You know why? Because he knew that he was lying. I have a series of things that I wrote down to tell you, but I will cut to the chase. It is because of hard work and support of loyal UNC soldiers like you that have turned night into day, that put us into government in 2010, that Vasan Bharat was given the opportunity to be made a minister. Kamla Persad-Bissessar appointed him a minister. And everywhere he walks around, he's boasting about being former. Instead of thanking Mrs. Bissessar, instead of being grateful for having had the opportunity, this magnet of unity brought him in, even though he fought her, and made him a minister. And this Nimak, all right, I shouldn't say that. This gentle person still remains committed to his lies. Vasan, 5 years ago, my brother Neil reminded you, 8,900 UNC supporters voted for you to represent the party in St. Joseph. You turned your back on every one of them, never setting foot back there until 5 years after. And you still think that they will vote for you? This man has no loyalty to party, much less to UNC members. When a man could stand up and tell you not to be loyal, see him for what he is, disloyal. In other words, fake, treacherous, unpatriotic, and untrustworthy. Who in their right mind would want to associate with somebody like that? Only like-minded kind of people, right? I shouldn't call Jack Warner's name here. But that is a man who abandoned the party and boasted that he worked with the PNM to remove the UNC from government. That is the kind of persons, disloyal, that Vasan Bharat likes to associate himself with. Vasan Bharat also called UNC members sycophants. Tonight, I want to tell Vasan Bharat, apologize. Before you come here and ask UNC members for their vote, apologize to the UNC members who have remained committed to this party. You need to apologize and beg forgiveness. Apologize for abandoning the party and the same members. Apologize for working against them. Apologize for working against them when you endorsed the PNM, when you worked against them in Maruga Tableland, when you sat in PNM sipping coffee, sipping tea, working on the roadmap. Apologize to them for the nasty kind of comments that you made against them. To my leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as I wind up, you renewed my faith in the public service because of your commitment and dedication to Trinidad and Tobago. I had the privilege to serve with you in many roles, and your trust and belief in me empowered me to become the people-centered representative for Oropouche West that I am today. I am honored to serve as the chairman of this, I will be honored to serve as the chairman of this great party under your stewardship. You are the leader that the national executive needs. You are the leader this party needs. You are the leader this country needs. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, on December 6, 2020, let us work together. 18 votes, 18 stars. Make sure come out, ensure that you put your X next to the star, and we return good governance, good leadership to the United National Congress in the person of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I thank you very much.
My friends, the fiery Dave Tanku, our next chairman of the United National Congress. And as we continue streaming live throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the world, I want to waste no time in bringing on the next speaker. The next speaker is from Signal Hill in Tobago. He is the regional representative. He has been active in Tobago and in fact, he has grown our membership tremendously in Tobago. He will be our next regional representative for Tobago, all the way from Signal Hill. Let us welcome young Bimal Ramlogan.
All protocols observed. Political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and to the thousands locked in via the live stream, I thank you for this opportunity to be here this evening. It is my distinct honor to stand again alongside my political leader, the greatest Prime Minister that this country has ever seen. When I look at the star slate, what I see brilliance. What I see is radiance. What I see is a group of hard-working members who have toiled in the trenches in service of this great party for several decades. When you look at Mr. Dave Tanku, who just spoke, after so many years in service, to see him at the parliament serving at the highest level. When I see my colleague, Ms. Khadija Amin, who just introduced me. Then when I look to Couva North and I see Mr. Ravi Ratiram, who is once again delivering proper representation, let me say it is quite inspiring as a young man. In this great party, leadership is one key characteristic that Mrs. Persad-Bissessar has down pat. You know, this motherly instinct that to nurture great leaders, and I have no doubt whatsoever that come December the 6th, she will be victorious, and it is going to be a resounding victory. To my opponent, I just have one thing to say. You see all these nasty attacks, all these cheap shots at my leader and at my colleagues. Last time, you got a grand total of 2 votes in the whole of Tobago. And let me remind you, you remember the victory margin last time, 1,700 votes as compared to 16,000. Well, this time, I will send you skipping. Thank you.
Yes, my friends, that is our Tobago representative, Mr. Bimal Ramlogan. I had the honor of serving on a past national executive with the next speaker. He is a quiet, unassuming gentleman, but he is always, always ready and able and working. He is sometimes behind the camera, and he is responsible for a lot of our apps, our live streams, and our social media feeds. Let us welcome a trustworthy man who will be the next treasurer of the United National Congress on this star slate, Mr. Archie, William Archie.
Thank you very much. Good night, political leader and all listeners. I would have functioned as treasurer in the past at the national level. And a lot of you would not know, but I would have presided over some of the more successful fundraisers that this party would have had in the past. Moving forward, we in this party is laying the foundation for the finance part of the political party, taking into consideration that campaign finance reform is coming. And we have laid the foundation in order to cater and craft policies to make sure the finances of this political party is well taken care of in the future. So that's with respect to treasurer. I just want to use my little remaining minutes to dispel a narrative that takes root. The media loves to cover this narrative. You see, anytime anybody ball cheat, thief, they run with that, and it cheapens and it devalues the electoral process in the UNC. I would have served as an election commissioner in this party not too long ago. And this process, the electoral process in the UNC, is so sophisticated that it is almost impossible to cheat. And it is so sophisticated and nice that the PNM, watching on, the big, great party, and they adopted the exact procedures that we use in our elections. That's how sophisticated it is. You know, and when you hear elections is in processes, I'm just going to give you a brief idea of how sophisticated it is. That side, the other side, they have agents. You put your ballots in a box that your agents could watch at the start, and they able to watch that box whole day, and then the same agents, so whatever go in there, the other side, their agents get to check it. So there's no way you could cheat in these elections. And anytime you hear people lose, they're always talking about they finding ballots in the river and they throwing down a set of membership cards and the media runs with that. So on election night, this Sunday election night, you see the results are coming out, and by the way, it will be streamed live on the UNC networks. The results that come out there, it's true, it's real, and that would be final. So with that little few words, thank you very much. Good night.
Let's give it up for Brother Archie, William Archie, stalwart, loyal soldier of the United National Congress. Brothers and sisters, our great UNC party is a very democratic party where each and every one of our members has a say in the direction and the leadership of this party. This party, under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has grown our membership base to over 100,000 members across the length and breadth of our country, with support and representations in areas that support never existed, brothers and sisters. And we saw a result of that in the last general elections, where across the length and breadth of this country, our party got over 309,000 votes under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Moving on with our program tonight, brothers and sisters, our next speaker is a medical practitioner who have been serving the people for the last 37 years. He was a former chairman at the Southwest Regional Health Authority, overseeing the operationalization of the San Fernando Teaching Hospital and the Couva Children's Hospital. This is his second term as the Member of Parliament for Faizabad, our candidate for Deputy Political Leader, who is definitely going to bring home a resounding victory on the 6th of December. Let us welcome MP Lakram Bodo.
Thank you very much, newly elected Member of Parliament for Couva North, our hard-working party organizer, and come Sunday, December 6th, party organizer returning again to the United National Congress. The Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, political leader of the United National Congress, and on Monday, 7th December, the next political leader of the United National Congress. Fellow candidates on the UNC slate, my UNC brothers and sisters, a very good evening to you all, and I thank you for tuning in to this virtual campaign meeting here tonight. My brothers and sisters, we are on the home stretch to our party's internal election, and I dare say we are on the cusp of electing Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team as your next executive. Brothers and sisters of our great party, I know that this must seem like a long battle, but the end is near, mere 3 days away. Tonight, as I stand before you, I can't speak for anyone but myself and my own experiences with Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I have known Kamla Persad-Bissessar since 1979, yes, political leader. When she was my lecturer in Jamaica, she taught a subject called the use of English to medical students. I'm sure that is part of the history that we don't know, but it's something that needs to be said. And since that time, we have had a professional and cordial relationship from then to now. So she was an English teacher before she became an attorney and before she became political leader and prime minister. So the history goes on. More importantly, all of my encounters with her, since I was appointed chairman of the SWRHA to my re-election as member of parliament a few months ago, have always been above board and professional. People could say what they want about her, but I can tell you that when it comes down to the crunch, she makes the right decisions for country. Let me give you a story. Let me tell you a story here, brothers and sisters, about one of the experiences and the advice that she gave me when I faced a particular governance challenge. And this is advice which remains etched in my memory and has served me well to this day. This happened when I was chairman of the SWRHA under her leadership as Prime Minister of the People's Partnership Government. There was a very important position to be filled at the RHA, and the person with the highest score in the evaluation process was an open PNM supporter in San Fernando West. As happens in the organization, word got out and people became aware that this person was a top contender for the position. Even ministers of the People's Partnership Government were telling me that we can't hire that person because he's against us. I met the then Prime Minister at a function and I mentioned this to her. This is what she had to tell me, my brothers and sisters. She said to me, Dr. Bodo, you have a responsibility to the RHA and to those whom the RHA serves. And that responsibility is to select the best person for the job. And if this person is the best person, and the board believes that he would benefit the people and the RHA, then by all means, you have to do what is right for the RHA. Needless to say, the person was hired and he did a great job. Interestingly, he was fired when the government changed, but only because he was hired under the People's Partnership Government, a hallmark of governance PNM style, as we all know. But the point I'm making, my brothers and sisters, is that even though someone might be opposed to her and even openly against her, Kamla Persad-Bissessar will always do what is right for country. Her decisions extended not only in choosing the right people for the job, but also in selecting projects that would have benefited the country, most benefited the country, such as the San Fernando Teaching Hospital, the Couva Hospital, and the UWI South Campus. When it comes to caring for children, she walked the talk when she implemented the Children's Life Fund in 2010, one of her first projects as Prime Minister. I remember getting a call, brothers and sisters, on behalf of the then Prime Minister, asking how many babies were born in Trinidad and Tobago. I was wondering why would Prime Minister want to have that kind of information, only to realize a few weeks later that information was to be used to implement the baby grant. At that time, another example of her caring and visionary leadership. And of course, she has led from the front in this COVID crisis by marshalling her parliamentary and local government representatives to meet and treat with the needs of those who are suffering under this uncaring PNM government. And it's already been mentioned, the thousands of masks and hampers that have been distributed. As a leader of the opposition in the parliament, she has been strong, making sometimes difficult and unpopular decisions, but always acting to protect your rights and to seek your best interests against an oppressive and uncaring PNM government. So she has stood out very strong in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago as the leader of the opposition, as your political leader. Many are asking why I entered into this race. I joined Kamla's slate because I believe that together we can all make a difference and continue to build this great party of ours. As I've said before, I've been a member of the UNC since 1995, working in the background prior to elected office. I also worked as an activist of this party in 2000 and again in 2010 in the San Fernando West constituency. So I see some are asking whether we can heal after this election. I am here to tell you that the answer is yes, that we can heal and grow stronger because we love our great party, the United National Congress. I also want to say to you that if elected as deputy political leader, and even if not elected, I will be amongst I will be amongst the first, alongside Kamla Persad-Bissessar, to start the healing process. I think that's an important message going forward, my brothers and sisters. We have a few long years ahead of us to represent you both inside and outside the parliament, and to prepare our party for forthcoming very important elections that will determine the future of this country. And therefore, we need everyone to be on board with us, whether elected on Sunday or not. You see, brothers and sisters, this party, the United National Congress, our great party, is bigger than anyone, and it welcomes everyone. So this Sunday, my brothers and sisters, don't get distracted by others who are suddenly vying for your attention and your vote. This Sunday, go out and vote for a strong team with a strong leader. Go out and vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the Star Slate. Vote for experience, vote for diversity, vote for caring, vote for compassion, and vote for competence. I urge you to vote for the Star Slate. I will be honored to serve as a deputy political leader under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Vote for the other hardworking and competent members of the Star Slate on December 6th. And vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar as your next leader on December 6th, so that on Monday, 7 December, we can continue to build our great party. Long live you, the members of our great party. Long live our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live the United National Congress. I thank you.
You see substance? That is a man of substance. One of our deputy political leaders on the Star Slate, Dr. Lakram Bodo. And I move now to another candidate for deputy political leader. This woman of action, woman of strength, needs no introduction. She is a performer, she is a worker, and she stands firm for what she believes in. She supports Kamla Persad-Bissessar for leader of the United National Congress. And I want you to welcome the very energetic and dynamic Sister Jerlene John, our candidate for deputy political leader.
Thank you, Honorable MP Kadisha Amin. Honorable political leader, members of the UNC Star team. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters listening on the radio and viewing us on the various modalities in social media. So as we get into the final stages of our campaign, where you have been asked to vote decisively and overwhelmingly in the internal elections for, of course, this star team or this team of stars, and feel proud about that because we work hard. We are well qualified. Our leader is the leader, our leader now and the leader to lead us into the future. I ask this of you because who wins the UNC internals is a matter of great national importance with far-reaching consequences, especially in these times when Trinidad and Tobago appears to be at its tipping point. Just a quick glance at today's front pages provides a good insight of where we have reached. All of this gives the impression that, or serve to give the impression that the Rowley-led government has lost control of governance. They lied their way into government and continues to lie shamelessly to the population on every single matter. It is therefore very critical who wins the internal election in terms of holding this government to account and ensuring that there is protection for every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. So one such occasion when the opposition showed what it was made of was last Friday when our very brilliant MP Saddam Hussein brought a motion condemning the government for its failure to effectively address crime. And today's Express has a front page, the damn truth. And in that, they were explaining, the reporter went on to explain that Young lambasted the opposition for raising the issue with respect to the vessels. He said the damning vessels, that's the name of the company, that they may be down. It is because of COVID. And I will call the ambassador in. Yeah, I said that right because I read it right. I read it twice, actually. He said he calling in the ambassador. Young continues because the people from Damen don't fly to this side of the world because of COVID and to do what is need to be done with some of the vessels. Of course, it's a lie, because every time Young's lips are moving, all that falls out of his mouth are lies. You know, he lies about small things, he lies about little things, he lies about big things, he lies when he don't even have to lie, because on this occasion, he must have known the man has come in and more coming in, because he would have signed this thing called an exemption, right? But he just compulsively and pathologically lies. You know, today I see MP Saddam asking him for an apology to the people of Trinidad and Tobago and an apology to this company for again embarrassing Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight I call on him for his resignation. I call on Dr. Rowley to give the young his passy and send him packing. It's about time. I mean, these are serious times, and I think we are now fed up of this childish, juvenile behavior. You know, this gentleman, when he's asked a question, he hears insults and he abuse, and very, very juvenile, when he commands a very important job, but he has no interest at all in national security. He should be called the Minister of National Insecurity, as a matter of fact, because he's busy hustling in the cabinet, gets up 57 times to recuse himself. So the only time this gentleman breaks a sweat is when he's running in and out of the cabinet. He's of absolutely no use to this country and still sits there. So you need a strong opposition to bring these things to the fore. We cannot continue in this time of pandemic, when our borders, our airport locked down for the last 9 months, and yet the borders are wide open, bringing in illegal immigrants and drugs and guns, and all he does is to shout and prance and tell even more lies. So, of course, he was corrected by the ambassador, who said the engineer has been here since the 19th of October. And you would have read for yourself the way this gentleman was going all around the mulberry bush with his answers, because even in the face of damning evidence, he just still has to lie. Do you think somebody like Young could have been in Kamla Persad-Bissessar's cabinet for even after one lie? You know, this Kamla Persad-Bissessar's prime minister used to fire you for watching, not even touching. You just had to watch, and you're gone. You know, much more to be in and out as a hustler for 57 times, you know, and that is what is condoned by our opponents in the internal election, because after the PNM cabinet was sworn in, they say they're so nice, they're so bright. So if they are so nice and so bright, we are fighting to get into government. It means that we probably are not so nice and bright. And I notice, after Dr. Bodo, they did not read out my CV, so I must tell you, I'm a chartered management accountant. I'm a chartered professional accountant. I'm a chartered accountant. I have a master's in business admin, specializing in international trade and finance. And I did actually go to the Singapore School of Management, the National University of Singapore, to be trained as a general manager. But that is only part of the story. This is a party of bright people. And I only said that because I heard people's CV floating around on Facebook, and I know our leader is a very humble person, and she probably wouldn't come and read it out, but I'm hoping that she will at least come and reintroduce herself to Trinidad and Tobago, because sometimes you just have to stand in the gap or stand up strong for these men and them, when they're showing off. You understand? So I am saying we have a very, very qualified team. And we have a team led by a leader who will brook no arguments. We have a team led by a leader whose cabinet was not a place for transactions. It was not a business opportunity. You had to find yourself outside of the cabinet, not to recuse yourself. She was going to fire you on the first time that you had a conflict. She didn't want you there the second time. But this gentleman has had to recuse him for 57 times, and his leader has said, that is okay. That is okay. So we are not going to tolerate that in the UNC, and we are not going to support anyone who tolerates that. So on the ballot, the UNC, the UNC has worked hard and has showed up on every occasion for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. As my colleagues have said before me, whether it is pandemic or floods, fire, homeless, our mothers, homeless children, we are there. We are always there, because that is ingrained in the DNA of the UNC. Brothers and sisters, in 2001, just like our beloved leader, I was in that cabinet, that because of selfishness, the same selfishness that is going around now, the cabinet was split apart and we were forced to go to an election. And on the night of 24th December 2001, the government was handed over to the PNM, although Mr. Pandey, the Prime Minister at the time, had not lost. Was 18-18 and we had won the popular vote. And I was there with Mr. Pandey and Mr. Ganga Singh, sitting across from Mr. Manning, Joan Yule Williams and Dr. Lenny Seat, handing over that government, knowing that we had not lost. Let us not take God out of our thoughts on the 6th of December and hand over anything to anybody who has not worked for it. Let us not do that, because it can happen again. It can happen again. And because I've lived through it, I know what it takes, the strength that it took to be a patriot. And all those who are now saying that we are not patriotic, that is patriotism. Because there was our leader in that cabinet ensuring that every child who wanted a space to go to secondary school, they could have gotten a space. So tonight I'm telling you, as someone who has offered herself as deputy political leader, that I follow in lockstep with our leader, together with the other two candidates for deputy political leader. Because we know it's not based on what she's proposing, but it's based on what she has done. So don't take what they are saying, take what they have done. And we know that our leader has stood in the balance and she has not been found wanting. Kamla Persad-Bissessar is a woman in whom we are very well pleased. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to come out in your numbers to vote overwhelmingly for the STAR team on the 6th of December. I thank you very much.
Put your X by the star, put your X by the star, put your X by the star, for Team UNC, put your X by the star, put your X.
Let's give it up for Deputy Political Leader, Sister Jerlene John. Brothers and sisters, our next speaker is a worker. He has been a long-standing servant of the United National Congress, and I recall way back in 1995, together with Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, he worked towards setting up the first North Liaison Office in Woodbrook. Brothers and sisters, he has served this party as the chairman. He has held the position of chairman of MIC, and he has also served this party by moving that marginal seat of Pointe-à-Pierre into a very safe place for the United National Congress. Let us welcome our next deputy political leader, MP for Pointe-à-Pierre, Dr. David Lee.
Good night to the viewing audience out there. Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum. Good night to my political leader. The only leader that I will have, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and my STAR team colleagues, the viewing audience out there. I listened to Sister John just now and she talked about CVs. Now, I want to tell her, I looked at Basan Bharat's CV and I looked at my leader's CV. And you know what is on my leader's CV besides all her credentials and all her qualification and brightness? Is something that Basan doesn't have. It's called aura. You see that aura that my leader has? That is what will bring victory for her STAR team and bring us to government back the next time when elections is called. UNC family, tonight while those on the other side fight for position and power, we join with you to fight for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, as we have done for so many years. Tonight, we are not only here to fight an internal election, we are here to fight for our nation. We are not only here tonight to fight to save our party, but rather we are fighting to save the future of our children. We are not fighting to elevate ourselves, but in true Kamla Persad-Bissessar style, we are fighting to uplift each and every citizen of this country. Today, your great party is 2 days away from an internal election, one of the most important decisions our members will have to make on Sunday. And I want to tell you, our leader has never abandoned you, even in your darkest moment. She has stood strong with you, and she will stay strong with you when she returns as our political leader on Sunday, the 6th of December. Friends, the UNC membership is not a voting bank that one can use. Friends, I have to apologize. I'm suffering from some eye issues. Friends, the UNC membership is not a voting bank that we can use conveniently to grab leadership. It is a special group. We have a special group of people who have toiled, sweat, and even shed tears to build our great party. And they deserve leadership who stands alongside them every hour of the day, as Kamla Persad-Bissessar has done over many years. For the past 2 weeks, we have seen the other side boast about receiving endorsement from former people and former persons of this party. I want to tell you, those were not endorsements, but rather insults to our great party by them. How could people who campaign against this party, how people who can campaign against this party could have disappeared for decades and somehow are now trying to benefit from our party? My brothers and sisters, as members, we must denounce that because they have no moral authority to guide UNC members, because when we needed them, they ignored us. Sunday's election is not about loyalty to leader. I want to repeat that. Sunday's election is not about loyalty to leader, but it is about standing with a leader who loves you and will stand by you in our darkest moment. That is what it is about. It is not about loyalty to leader. It is about the strength of our leader in the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thousands of us looked on in awe at the disgraceful statements by those on the other side who said you must give up loyalty to Kamla. But ask yourselves, when you needed a leader to fight against high food prices, was Vasan there? When you needed a leader to speak out for you in high crime, was Vasan there? Kamla Persad-Bissessar stood strong with you. My brothers and sisters, in the face of the nightmare of flooding or the hardship of the COVID pandemic, Vasan was nowhere there, not even this government. It was Kamla who was championing that cause day and night to ensure that our members and the people of this country got fed and were given a hamper. We must never forget that. When you needed someone who would ensure equal development for all at the UE South campus, it was Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The Children's Hospital, the Teaching Hospital, the Carnage Health Facility in a PNM constituency, and over 100 new schools. It was Kamla who delivered that to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Sunday, our members are being asked to choose the person who has shown leadership, love, and loyalty to our party. That person can only be Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Friends, our country is in a crisis. When you look at the social sector, thousands are suffering. When you look at the energy sector, it has crashed. When you look at the economy, it is collapsing. On Sunday, there's only one leader on the ballot paper with that track record of hard work, and that is Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who has served you over 25 years in our parliament. How can you expect someone who has never even served a proper 5-year term in the House of Representatives, a person who has only spent 3 years in the House of the Lower House, to take on the PNM? The UNC membership doesn't need OJT leaders. I want to say that. The PNM, the UNC membership does not need OJT leaders. We need a tried and tested warrior like Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who has been a fighter in and out of Parliament, and I have witnessed that for the last 5 years. Today, when some list their parliamentary experience, almost all are due to Kamla. But when Kamla lists hers, it's thanks to her dedication to you, the people of this nation. The UNC membership doesn't need leadership who will on Wednesday say the anti-gang bill is useless, but on Sunday condemn the UNC for not voting for it. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, Friday, when the government tables the procurement bill, how should, and I want to ask Mr. Barrett, how should we vote? Tell us. I want to tell you how we're going to do it with Mrs. Persad-Bissessar. I want you to understand that the mere fact that this procurement bill is up for debate tomorrow is because Kamla called them out for the last few weeks to bring this procurement bill to Parliament. It has been Kamla who demanded that this legislation be brought to Parliament to protect our state assets. That is the strength of Kamla. That is the strength of my leader. That is the leadership we need. Leadership who will corner and expose this government. As a matter of fact, tomorrow you will see us as an opposition battling this government on that procurement bill. And I want to tell Bas and Brat, stay tuned tomorrow. They have removed the ability for the procurement regulator, and they have brought a watered-down version. It has been Kamla standing in the Parliament exposing issues such as sanctioned officials coming into our country. Remember that? Delzi, fake oil, and even the breach of international sanctions with the sale of fuel. It was because of the strength of Kamla Persad-Bissessar in Parliament. As a leader, we have seen Kamla ejected from the House on occasions because she represented you fearlessly. She is never afraid to speak on your behalf. That is the leadership we need to restore on Sunday. How can you elect someone who doesn't have a parliamentary seat? How will they fight for you in Parliament? Will they go up in the visitors' gallery and shout to us? Come on, Mr. Barrett. The leadership of this party is no joke. And those who are seeking it should not make a mockery of it. I tell Mr. Barrett, do not make a mockery of our party. Those on the other side last night want to spread lies about Kamla making a deal with the PNM. But I want to remind them, it wasn't Kamla who accepted Rowley's invitation to formulate a PNM government policy. That was Mr. Barrett on that team. They want to call Kamla a dictator. They want to call Kamla a dictator. But when Kamla appointed those who did not even support her as leader to high and big ministries, was she a dictator then? Was she a dictator when she ensured every member of Parliament underneath her, when she was Prime Minister, donated to the Children's Life Fund? Was she a dictator when she ensured that young men and women could become members of the national decision-making? Was she a dictator when she removed VAT on food, gave the baby grant, and gave all of us laptops? Was she a dictator? Was she a dictator when she appointed many of them on that team, to some form of high office during her tenure, from state board to minister and even opposition senators? Kamla has always been a leader for all. Friends, our great party was formed many years ago to be a vehicle of development, justice and equality. Leaders before have done well. Leaders before has done well. But Kamla has truly placed this party on the road to being a national institution of hope. Never before have we had a presence like we do now on the corridors. Never before have we had so many youth and women officially serving in our party. Do not take us back to the days when our Monday night forums were in a classroom as we barely had attendees, Mr. Barrett. Do not take us back to the days when we only had 15 seats, with Pointe-à-Pierre, Chaguanas East, Sama Barataria, and Moruga all being strongly held by the PNM underneath them. Do not take us back to the days when our members felt apart from our leadership. As I close, on Sunday the 6th of December, I ask you to stand with someone. I ask you to stand with someone who has dedicated her life to you, given her love to you, and will always fight for you. On December 6th, I want to tell Basan Barrett and his team, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar and her stars will beat them in the north. We'll beat them in the east. We'll beat them in central. We'll beat them in Tobago. And you see Shanti, we'll beat them in the south. And we'll beat them, and we'll beat them, and we'll beat them. I thank you. And let us go out on Sunday, December 6th, and bring back good governance to our party under Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I thank you.
It looks like the dragon is breathing fire, the Chinese dragon. Our chief whip in the parliament and candidate to return as deputy political leader, Dr. David Lee. You have now heard from the 3 candidates on this slate for deputy political leader. There is no comparison. Vote for the 18 stars on Sunday. My friends, we have now come to the brightest star on this slate. She is a leader who leads for all, a leader who practices equal opportunities in all forms, in and out of government, a leader who mentors and nurtures, who encourages education and growth of young people while embracing experience of the older ones. She has led this country as a prime minister in international spaces with grace and diplomacy. But she is not afraid to roll up her sleeve or put on her tall boots and go into the floods. Kamla Persad-Bissessar has grown the membership of the United National Congress from just about 20,000 to over 100,000 financial members. She continues to keep the United National Congress strong. She is loved everywhere she goes. My friends who are on the live feed, please continue to share this post as we welcome our leader of the Star Slate, the returning leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
UNC family, good evening to all of you. And to those of you locked onto your devices, viewing this virtual meeting for the STAR team, I thank you very much for tuning in, locking on, so that we can share some thoughts with you and some ideas with you. I want to congratulate all the speakers who came before me. They were powerful. And they will be, after Sunday's vote, will form part of the executive of the United National Congress. To all on the STAR team, I thank you. You've been working very hard every day, everywhere, in every corner of this land. And with each day, we have been so inspired because people have been so welcoming to us. Indeed, last night we were in Naparima, then we went on to Muruga Tableland, then we went to Princestown, and we had to really curtail one of the meetings because so many people had showed up. And we wanted to keep within the COVID regulations. So we said, look, let's terminate this meeting early so people can go home and go safely. But all those who showed us so much love in the past and in the recent past, we want to thank you very much for that. Thanks so much. It has been overwhelming. And you know, it makes it all justified as to what we should do and where we should go. I want to share some words with some of us who may be hurt, because there are some haters, not many. Remember that, it's just a few people, some haters. I want to share these words with you. Stay focused on the job at hand and get it done. Stay focused on the job at hand and get it done. Ignore the stupid people words do not kill. Words do not kill. So, Shanti, I know they have this nasty Facebook page where they keep attacking UNC members and activists. Words do not kill. You're brave, you're strong, as we all are. Let us stay focused. We have a job to do, and that job is to unite, strengthen our party, and get rid of this wicked, incompetent PNM government. That's our job. Stay focused. And so we see the same people that campaigned against us and contributed to the results we got in the last elections, they are now saying they will take us into government. If they did not campaign for us and help our party, but instead they campaigned for the PNM in the last 2 general elections, then life would have been very different. They ran lies, nasty, horrible campaigns against us. Now what do they want to do? They want to lead us. They want to lead you. Hypocrites, I say. They want to lead you where? Into the folds of the PNM? They want to lead you into division so we can divide this party and have the PNM get a free pass. We must not let that happen. We have to stand strong. We have to stand strong. And we do that together. Remember what they did to us in 2015. That election campaign, don't forget it. Remember Vasan campaign with the PNM in this election. And remember, look at that picture, please. Can we get the picture up? Vasan campaigning with Gypsy in Muruga Tableland. A picture paints 1,000 words. What's that? That's a picture. You can see it on your screens. Vasan campaigning with Gypsy, and as I said it before, it didn't happen once. It was once by chance. But he bounced up with Gypsy again in the next place in Muruga Tableland. Yes. So there they are by the agro-processing plant. That's a different place, Vasan. How come both of you bounce up twice in Muruga Tableland? And one day you bounce up Michelle Benjamin, our candidate. Not one day, not once. So you campaign for the PNM. And there's another person on your team, Mr. Not tonight, but I'll tell you tonight. On your team, who openly confessed to strategizing with the PNM in the 2015 election. Openly confessed that he strategized with the PNM for the PNM to win the election. You have people from other parties. You have people not even a member of this party on your team campaigning with you, and you want to lead the UNC. People betrayed this party, supported the PNM. These are the people. You have people who, in the last election, 2020, filed for a candidate, as a candidate for that election against our party. You have the lady up in Grandy somewhere, the farmer lady, screened for the PNM. These are the people who are your associates. These are the people you want to voice on the UNC and remove. The sons and daughters of the UNC, you hate them. The young ones have grown up, have qualified. You want them to go to bring who? And they're saying on their platform, all are we coming back? Well, you're not coming back. Not coming back. Not coming back. Leave the young ones. They're the future leaders of this party, the new generation. Those are the ones you nurture and you mentor. Those are the ones you help. You don't go and fraternize with the PNM and fraternize with people from other parties and come to say you want to lead UNC and all are we coming back? So what are you going to do with our new MPs or senators, our new council? What are you going to do with them? You're going to put out all these people to bring back those old people? You talk about former. Every one of them is a former something. A former this, a former that, a former that. Listen, this is not about former. This is about forward to the future. Forward. We are going forward. We stay focused. Do not lose heart. Do not lose heart. So it's amazing that persons who have been campaigning with the PNM for years now, people who formed their own parties, people tried to form parties and couldn't form them. People who campaigned against the UNC, fighting to replace loyal UNC members. No way. We will not let it happen. The membership will not let that happen. For years, in association with the PNM, all the talking heads in the PNM, you attacked your own party. You denigrated the members of your party. You now want to come to lead this party. I say, no way is that going to happen. For years, one of them used a newspaper to attack the UNC, campaign for the PNM. And you know, I gave him the name of that newspaper. When he wanted to form that newspaper and they started brainstorming, I said, we heard about the sun, the rising sun, call it sunshine. Call it sunshine. And use that same paper to attack the UNC, denigrate its membership. Now you want to come and come back with Persad? No way, no way, no way, no way. They know that without the UNC base, you see, they understand that. They will never see the doorway into the parliament again. They know that all these former people. They know without our base, not one of them can win a seat. And so when they say, they made us win an election and they do this and they do that, but if it was so good, why you didn't do it for yourself? You made me Prime Minister. It's the people of Trinidad and Tobago made me Prime Minister. And if you were so good, you would have made yourself Prime Minister. I mean, seriously, you're so great. So don't take them on. I say stay focused, words don't kill you, but we have to explain and understand. So here you are. You want to use the UNC base to get into government. But listen, the children of the UNC base, the children of the rank and file UNC base, sitting in parliament now, they will not be used by anyone again. They will control their own destinies. The UNC rank and file refuses to be helpless onlookers in their own party, not again. When I leave in the future, because I will leave one day, the succession planning I have been implementing since 2015 would have ensured that the grassroots membership and their children will lead our great party forward. Not the entitled elitists, not those. They call themselves the intelligentsia. You really want my resume tonight? I have one resume, and that is that I love people, I love the UNC, and I serve my people. They say they are the intelligentsia. They cannot form a party and keep it together. The UNC is here now how long? Over 30 years, thanks to our founding father, and then when I came in 2010. So really, who are the intelligent ones? This guy was trying for 5 years to form a party, you remember? Citizens Alliance all over with Louis Singh and Raghunanan and others, trying to form party, patriotic, kept trying to form a party. Could not form a party and come back home here to try to take over our party. Not happening. It's not going to happen. So really, who are the intelligent ones? Clearly, it is the UNC membership who have been here, as we say, over 30 years. Some of these haters should check themselves. Some are arrogant, some are elitist, some believe they're entitled, but that's not intelligence. Humility and loyalty, hard work, these are the things that build a party, not arrogance and entitlement. They're telling the UNC rank and file and our membership that the woman who has loyally fought for this party for over 25 years, loyally defended the rank and file, defended you and your children, loyally promoted people from humble backgrounds, took relentless abuse from all of you, haters, from all quarters, from the media, from the PNM and the PNM apologists, and from some of the haters in our own party. So, they're telling you to vote against me, to vote against the team, the star team that I lead. When they left because they caused their own problems, or they didn't get what they wanted, they attacked the party, the supporters, they didn't care about you. I suffered abuse and humiliation from many quarters, but I have never ever turned my back on you, I have never betrayed you, I have never left my party. I fought for this party, I fought alongside you, the membership, because I love you all. I could never turn my back on people I loved so dearly for so many years. When the membership of our party was publicly attacked, denigrated, it was I who fought for you. You are part of me, I'm part of you. We grew together, we developed together, we made things happen together. Do not let them attack us. I never stood aside and let them attack our membership, our members. When I could, I stood up for you whenever I can, and I will continue to do that. As the song I play, which I like, it is one of these young MPs gave it to me, a young councillor, the Andy Grammer song. Was it Chris or Saddam? One of you. Both. Anyway, I will fight for you. And I say that I will continue to fight for you. You see, the membership supported some of these entitled persons, right? For years, put them in high office, for years. And now they cannot return that support to the membership, back to the children of the UNC. They will not give it back. They want to move them out. They want to change them out. They want to bring back or are we, whoever they are. Want to bring back all these people? Yes, everyone has a space, a place, yes. But we must take the party, as I said, not with former. We must go forward with the new membership, the new young ones in leadership positions. They see the rank and file, they see you as a block of votes. But you are not that. People here, you will see, are well qualified, all of you. Jillian said they stopped reading resumes. Well, Jillian, your resume is so long, so highly qualified, it would have taken too long to read it, so that's why it didn't happen. But I want to remind you, Jillian, John and I sat in the same cabinet, first UNC cabinet together. And she was a total performer. We had the mantra, performance beats old talk anytime and every time. Jillian John was the one behind the construction of the airport, that airport we have up in Piarco. Give her a round of applause. So many other things that she was responsible for helping to manage. Jillian John is responsible for, together with our partnership government, the teaching hospital in San Fernando. Jillian John is responsible for the Couva Children's Hospital, the police stations that we built, and many other projects through the hard work of JJ. So she is not former old-time comeback. She has been with us all along, and she will be with us as we go forward. So when the membership, these elitists, as I say, put them in high office, they can't support back to you now. They only see us as a block, I'm saying, of votes. But you are people qualified to guide your own destinies. The party had lost its way, and I heard someone else use these same words tonight. I think it was Tanku. Our party had lost its way in the 2000s when it became a boys' club, and the entitled elitists took control from the rank and file. It is the truth. Boys' club. The party had turned away from its grassroots support and gradually turned over control to these entitled persons who only view rank and file members as a vote block. Vasant is a product of that elitist entitled boys' club, and he thought he was entitled to inherit the party. Many others who have supported him are also in that mode. I have changed that. Since 2015, I have promoted on merit in this party. I have promoted loyalty to the party, and that is the rank and file. That is what they hate me for. That is what they hate me for. This party pre-2010 had become one in which you could parachute off from the top. Come from the top and just drop and become big minister. No rank and file work, no work on the ground, no work in the trenches. You come and be minister. Pre-2010. Some of it continued post-2010, but from 2015, I have really promoted those who work for this party, who have been in the trenches. And many of them will tell you for themselves how long they've been working in the party, from top to bottom, from bottom up to top. So, you are a descendant of a political dynasty. You feel you're entitled. Your father was a DLP MP, your uncle was a DLP MP, whatever they were, you think you are entitled. But this is not a kingdom. There's no dynasty. This is a democracy. And it is the votes of individual persons or the members that will determine who get into leadership positions. So not because you're the brother-in-law of somebody, brother of somebody, you have wealth, you're high class or high caste. That's not why you're going to get into these leadership positions, get into the parliament. That's not why. You have to work hard. And I changed that. That is another thing they hate me for. I gave every poor girl and boy, man and woman a chance to move up in this party, into high positions. Again, that's another reason they hate me. Some. I promoted people who grew up in poverty but worked hard. They persevered through the hardest times, elevating themselves. That again is a reason They hate me. Some people are entitled. Some people are entitled, and like spoiled brats, you know, you must have it. You must get that. They believe they're entitled to rule again dynasties. The PNM has their dynasties, you know. The rank and file of the PNM don't get to rise up, you know. Right in San Fernando here, over 40, 45 years, the Sukarans, from grandfather to mother to son, the Sukarans. The Manins from father to son. Don't forget the Kangaroos. These are the entitled. Understand this, you know. I don't think people understand and see, but that's what happens. And I've said, no, we cannot continue like that in UNC to give only entitled people things. You have to give it to the honorary members who have worked their way up, qualified themselves, toiled and labored for this party. That is how we will strengthen and how we'll go forward. Because you see, these entitled people, the day they don't have the title, they don't have the office, they're gone. Go on. Entitled people, parachute from the top in 1995, get a seat, Mr. Vassant. And after that, what happened to you? Disappeared. You reappeared in 2010. You campaigned against me, but you see, they say I'm a nice person. Yes, sometimes I am. You campaigned against me 2010 for the internals. And after I won, we won. I brought you in when we won the general election. I made you a senator. I made you a minister. Some call you a super minister. That was 2010. 5 years you sat in my cabinet together with the other aunts. I made him a minister too. He campaigned against this party on a COP ticket. I said, okay, we won the general 2010. Look, Vassant, we are UNC together, come. And made him a minister. For 5 years, I'm saying. 5 years. Look, the other one too just come back. The FIFA man. Made them ministers in my government. Vassant, for 5 years, you sat not a word of you to say, Kamla must go. Kamla must step aside. Not a word. 2015, as soon as we finish vote for the general election, where them? Abandon us, go on. He put in his hat in the ring, he get a lick in what? 15 to 1. And then he disappeared again. And as Neil told you, from 2015, he resurfaced in 2017 again to do what? To try to take the leadership. But he backed out. He backed back, as they say, and he left Christina woman to put up the fight. And then disappeared again, only to reappear in 2020 in Maruga Tableland with Gypsy. And then now here he is again. Saddam says he's like a blue moon. You only see him once in a while. Every time we have these party elections, he shows up. But he wasn't there to campaign in 2016 for the local government. In an election where the UNC got 9,000 more votes than the PNM. He wasn't there to campaign in the 2019 locals where the UNC got 42,000 more votes than the PNM. Wasn't there. We got more seats. We won another corporation. We were building the party. Wasn't there. And as I said, fast forward 2020, it shows up again to campaign with the PNM. And here he is again trying to take the leadership. So he wasn't there. And he wasn't there because he didn't have the title. He wasn't MP or minister. And several of them on that team, I don't want to sound, you don't call it reproach, but really, many of you putting on your CV things that what happened? Happened because we formed the government and I was the Prime Minister. You put in former board member here. Former board member here. Former head of some organization. Former. All of that. Be real and be truthful and be honest. We were only able to achieve because we were in government and I was the leader of the government. So if you want to boast, I think my resume will show you. I worked in the trenches from the ground up, started as a normal foot activist, foot soldier, went through local government, went through the Senate, went through the House, served as a minister. When I formed my cabinet in 2010, apart from Dukaran, I was the only person with ministerial experience. And fast forward my resume, I took our great party into government, man. I'm proud of that. I took our party into government. But these guys who campaigned with the PNM took our party out of government. Out of government. One campaigned in 2015, strategized with the PNM, and the other one campaigned in 2020. They took us out. And so they hate me again because I took away control of our party from these entitled people who no longer have a title. You know, I was so sad to see my sister, Jennifer. Jennifer became an ambassador because of me and our government. But once they they didn't continue. They don't have the title, the office. It's a whole different ballgame. It's really strange. Huh? Life is strange. It's a strange thing. So I could go through that whole team. And you could too. And check their political history, and you'll see they were nothing in the political arena until we gave them positions. They believe they're entitled still. This party has to change its ways. We stop with the entitled people and we move with the young ones, as I say, forward and not forward. That's what we have to do. Now, you heard them last night. They're saying they're all coming back. You know, they were all invited to come back, you remember that? Publicly we said, come, we have space and place, let's work together, let's build together. No. They can't be humble and return to support you and your children. They only want to come in to rule, to take control. When you see them, I want you to ask them this. Ask them why they cannot work in the party and support you and your children who have been promoted. They don't want succession from within our party, the rank and file. I have been implementing that kind of succession planning. But they want a ruling class of entitled entities. You know, I see this very regularly where people obtain high positions in our party, and when they no longer have it, they will not lift a finger. They will not lift a finger to help the party. You cannot find them, and it is a regular membership that carries our party through election after election and in between elections. I am sick and fed up with that ungrateful behavior by persons who only use the UNC membership to reach the parliament and then turn their backs on the membership. Why is it that the same membership that put you in parliament for years, why you cannot now support them? Why don't you give them back the support they gave for you guys, you former guys? They gave you that support. Neil Gosain has been there in the trenches all the time. Dr. Bodo from 95, Indar Singh, David Lee, Tanku, Saddam, Barry Padarat, who is here? Khadija. Khadija is she's a gem by herself. Khadija has never looked back. She joined this party when she was 14 years. And she has served at every level. She has never looked back. So many young ones have come forward. We must give them that support, that help, and propel them into future leadership of this party. So my friends, there must be in our party, as in our country, equality of opportunity and respect for all, regardless of where you come from, regardless of who your parents were or were not. We must all have that love and respect. And look, don't this hate. You know, they said hate, so much hate, stop it. Stop this hate. We cannot have so much hate for persons that you will denigrate them on that nasty Facebook page. Don't have bad mind. You see, those things, they bounce back at you like a boomerang or like karma. That hate and your disrespect for people and their personal lives and their family, that will bounce back and eat you up. Stop it. I have put up with a lot, but I still find time to smile. I still find time to let go of the bitterness and you know, the anger sometimes. Because if you don't do that, you'll either get an ulcer or Dr. Bodo will tell you you'll get a heart attack. So let go of the hate. Don't waste your lives being bitter, settling scores, attacking everyone. Lift yourself up and lift yourself up and lift others with you along the way, as I have done. Never forget where you came from. So when you achieve success, you will always have respect for people who are on their way up. Members must always remember this party is yours. You and your child are just as equal as me and my child. Educate and qualify yourselves and your children and take leadership positions within the party. Dynasty days, doctor politics, class and caste politics, gone. We must make sure that is a thing of the past, and that doesn't mean you, doctor. I will always love every one of you. My life has been happier for knowing each of you. You know, some say love don't win elections. But that must be somebody who really doesn't have any love or gives no love. Love conquers all. That may be so. Love alone will not win elections. But I never want to win anything through hate and bitterness, lies and division. Never want to. Love must always be at the center of our party and our lives. So when you achieve your goals through hate, division, lies, mashing down other people, you will never, ever be happy. Representing members of this party is a privilege, not a right or an entitlement. When I leave this party, I want to see your children lead it to greater heights than I did. Not former, but always forward to the future. I want to share a quotation from you, if somebody passes my phone, that I found very inspiring, that someone sent it to me today. And it is like a life enlightening moment. Thank you. This comes from Netflix series, The Crown. And it is Margaret Thatcher talking to the Queen. So if I can find it. It's very interesting. It will inspire you, I hope. If someone could find it, because I asked Dave Tanku to send it out on the group, so I don't know if someone can find it quickly for me. Someone found it? But the words are there. The words are there. I can't play the video because, yeah, thank you. Okay, this is Margaret Thatcher speaking to the Queen. And it comes from a poet, Charles Mackay. You have no enemies, you say. Alas, my friend, the boast is poor. He who has mingled in the fray of duty that the brave endure must have made foes. If you have none, small is the work that you have done. You've hit no traitor on the hip. You've dashed no cup from perjured lip. You've never turned the wrong to right. You've been a coward in the fight. So it is that once you fight, you will have foes, you will have enemies. If you get the clip, you should play it. It is very inspiring. Before I go, I think it is very important for us to stay focused, stay united, and stay strong. I want to share two matters with you. Jillian mentioned one of them already. But it is a motion that was brought by MP Saddam Hussein in the Parliament last Friday, condemning the government for its failure to fight crime. And in that, Jillian quoted the passage, but Stuart Young said, when Saddam raised the issue of the damning boats, those were the boats that we had bought to help the Coast Guard control our borders. And he said, Saddam pointed out that they were not working. And Stuart Young said, and lied, he lied to the Parliament and to the nation. He said that they were getting someone, the damning people, to come to fix it, but they don't want to come because it's COVID, so they don't want to fly here. And today's paper is calling it Damning Truth. Express today, Damning Truth. Well, D-A-M-E-N, Damning Truth. The E is in brackets, so damn truth, damning truth, okay? And in the paper, it is reported, Stuart Young had told us in the Parliament Friday that he will get in touch with the Dutch embassy, the Netherlands embassy, and see to get the engineers to come down. That embassy has now said that one of the engineers has been here since October, and another one came in November. So he lied. He lied to the Parliament. Now, how many people can come in this country without an exemption? And who signs the exemption? The only person responsible for granting exemptions for people to enter our borders is the lying minister, Stuart Young, Minister of National Security. So is he signing exemptions and he doesn't know who these people are? Isn't it the same thing that happened when Delcy came in? They didn't even know who the people were. When the Prime Minister mumbled and fumbled when we raised that issue, when he said, well, he didn't even know who was there in the meeting with him, with Delcy. He didn't know. So Stuart Young, are you signing exemptions, or do you have a clone or a robot signing the exemptions? That is your responsibility. So I'm very fearful about more than one thing, but one is that what is going on with these exemptions? Who is signing them if the minister is not signing them? Does he read it before he signs it? Is there anything else that he signs without reading? He knew, he ought to have known, as the lawyers say, that these people came, these engineers came, because he would have had to approve them. You have Barry's family out the country, he's there asking for an exemption months now. You wouldn't sign that. But some robot or a clone somewhere signing something for the engineers because you don't know about it. So you have to answer about that. Where's your responsibility? And the second concern I have is this man will lie. You know, they have an expression, Franco-men in the parliament. Blatant lie in the parliament. And they do, you're right, they do it all the time. It's like when Rowley tell the whole country the government is not closing on Petrotrin. And if you're closing your fridge door, I will repeat, the government is not closing on Petrotrin. Lo and behold, a short while after, all. I know you're attempting to sell out that refinery and so on. I'll come back to that. So they lied to the parliament. Now Jillian calling him to resign, and you're right, he must resign for lying to the parliament on a matter of national security, because we have to have our borders closed, patrolled. This is where all illegal people are coming in. And you have the borders open, porous borders, because you're lying. You're lying to the people and to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. So yes, resign. But tomorrow the opposition will be taking a matter to the Parliament, a privilege motion against Stuart Young for lying to the Parliament. So it's not the first lie, it will not be the last. There was another story reported in the Express about Penny. Another minister appears to be lying again. She's out of the country. She went to New York. She got exemption to fly out to her. I wonder if Stuart Young signed that one, or the clone or the robot signed it. She got the exemption to go off to New York. Why? Some bills and so on that she has to settle. And she lied. When the reporter asked her, the newspaper, whether she had been alerted or spoken to by the Minister of National Security, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, she said no. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is saying, yes, they alerted her, there were certain things going on, and she was now a minister of government, that she couldn't be collecting bills and so on for the New York residents. She is no longer the ambassador. So she lied as well. So I'm asking, who is speaking the truth? The Foreign Affairs Ministry or Penny Beckles? Penny said in the newspaper article, the only person she spoke to was the Prime Minister. And yet Foreign Affairs is saying that they alerted her there were issues in New York. And the second thing there, she too had to get an exemption to go. Well, who signed it? We'll find that out in a while. So the last issue I want to deal with tonight, because it is what we'll be going to Parliament tomorrow to do. And this is unconscionable. It is true I call for the procurement legislation, bring it on, we're not supporting you all, bring it on. But you know what they did? They didn't bring the regulations to operationalize the whole procurement regime. No, that's not what they did. So it might fool the public out there, so don't be fooled. Look, Kamla say bring procurement, look, we bring it. They did not bring what they needed to bring to make the law fully implemented. They didn't do that. They have deliberately delayed for over 5 years bringing that procurement to fruition, to full implementation. We passed it in December 2014. It came into effect in 2015 as Act 1 of 2015. So it's on the statute book since then. 2015, you know what they did? When they won the election, they came in 2016 to amend it. To amend it, not to make it working, to amend. 2016 once. Brought some amendments to weaken the legislation. They came again in 2017 to further weaken the legislation. Further weaken the legislation. What did they do? They gave powers to the minister to make regulations to dispose of public property. State lands. And what are state lands? Petrotrin bungalows and whatever here. NP is on land too, the NP stations. Paria fuel, Guaracara refinery, there's land there too. All these things that they want to sell. So they knew about this long before, because when they brought that amendment, they removed the power of the procurement regulator to deal with disposal of state lands. Giving it to whom? The minister. The minister, a politician with friends and family and financiers. So 17 you did that. So you amended in 16. We talk every budget you come, you say, yes, procurement, come in. You come and amend again in 2017. And every year, budget time, we will implement it. We will implement. All the years have gone. Over 5 years, up to this year budget in October, yes, we're going to do it. We started to say no support without it. They dropped this bill now to change the law, to remove things from the law, to weaken the law, to allow for more corruption by government officials. And they fool you into believing they brought procurement. What did they do? Let me spend a minute on that. They're coming to, first of all, amend certain sections of the Act 1 of 2015. They are amending Section 7 of the Act. They are going to delete some words, and this is so important, because this is what is part of the meat of the transparency and accountability in the procurement law. They're going to remove this. That's what they want to do tomorrow in the Parliament. Section 7 says, this Act applies to public bodies and public-private partnerships arrangements. 7.2, to the extent that this Act conflicts with an obligation of the state under or arising out of the following: a treaty, government-to-government treaty, an agreement entered into by the government of TNT with an international financial institution, so that's a second kind of transaction, and C, an agreement for technical or other cooperation between TNT government and the government of another state. This is it. The requirements of the treaty or agreement shall prevail. Listen, these are the words they're going to take out. The requirements of the treaty or agreement shall prevail, except that the procurement of goods, works, or services shall be governed by this Act. They're removing all these arrangements from public scrutiny, from transparency and accountability, to allow them to do what they did with Chinese company recently. You remember there was a big housing contract stink. You signed up with that government. What you're doing here is to continue to do work like that. The big hue and cry, they removed it, they surrendered the contract for the housing in San Fernando and Port of Spain. So by taking these out, this is a serious deletion from the law. The other one they want to amend is same section 7.5. And section 7.5 says, well, not amend, they want to add this. They're going to add this, which is not there before. Now remember, we said this Act will work for public bodies and public-private partnership arrangements. They now want to take out these things. They want to insert the following: this Act shall not apply. Not apply. So before it would apply, not apply to the following services provided to public bodies or state-controlled enterprises. A, shall not apply legal services. B, financial services. C, accounting and auditing services. D, medical services. E, such other service as the minister by order may resolve by resolution, for negative resolution. So you mean when we finish this on Friday, that man could sit down anytime a contract coming up in the cabinet and it concerns a minister, friend, family, and so on, that he has to recuse himself, he just make an order, delete that service. So the Act will not apply. The Act will not apply to legal services. Why? Why? Which lawyers you want to pay and you don't want the public to know and have it under scrutiny? Why? Why is it not applying to the tech financial services? I have stood on our platform and told you about NCB Global Finance. I have. Jillian mentioned it tonight, 57 times Stuart Young had to walk out the cabinet because he's conflicted, because he has a relative in NCB Global Finance. 57 times matters relating to friends and family of his that he walks out and the cabinet approves the contract. Several of them are for financial services. Man, you see what's going on here? These people are making law for themselves. They're making laws to continue to fleece the taxpayers. We must not let it happen. We must stand strong. Financial service, I mean, you're so bold, no shame. You have no shame when you're recusing yourself from the cabinet because your family getting some kind of contract from your own cabinet, brothers and sisters. Why? You think the people of Trinidad and Tobago are so dotish? And where are the lawyers in all of this? How come the law says there's not a word? Learned Senior Counsel Martin Daly, who writes every Sunday in the newspaper. Mr. Martin Daly, I'm asking you, what do you think about this? What do you have to say? Some members of civil society have come out and said no amendment. The TTI, Transparency Institute, has said do not amend it, do not change the law in this way. But where are the lawyers? Which are the ones getting the briefs from the government? I'm a lawyer too, I have nothing against you getting briefs and so on, but why exempt legal fees, legal services, why? Faris pays billions of dollars. You know, he spent his whole life attacking former AG I.A.N and Ram Logan about legal fees. And that man is paying people for all kinds of things. We need to leave that there. So no legal services, no financial services. Let's continue. Medical services. Why? On the last platform I raised that Faris recused himself from 2 matters relating to medical things. And I asked him, tell us what was your conflict of interest and why you left the cabinet because you had that conflict of interest when the decision has been taken. One was for waiving custom duties and VAT on a scan, on a CT scan machine. Why? And then another one, Saddam, correct me, is the one for the provision of medical services. Note comes to cabinet about providing medical services to a government entity, and he goes outside. Why? And here now you're making a piece of law to exempt provision of medical services from the scrutiny of the procurement law. This is unconscionable. This is unconscionable. You cannot make law for yourself. You cannot make law for yourself. I mean, I cannot believe they'll be so brass-faced or bold-faced as, you know. They really take the people of Trinidad and Tobago for fools. That they believe they can get away with exempting their businesses from public scrutiny, from the procurement law. So we will deal with them in Parliament tomorrow. And they brought the bill with a simple majority. So they don't need us, they don't need our votes, that's what they think. Our research is showing us the original law needed a constitutional majority. The status of the law is that whether an amending piece of law, I'm sorry to get so technical, but this is a very important issue. Whether another piece of law that comes to change it, to amend it, also requires a special majority, which means all votes. And it is my considered view that it does require that special majority. Let me tell you why. Because you are now taking away matters that were protected under the law, the Act itself, the original law, which deals with taxpayers' money. There are principles of governance, fair governance, equity, transparency. There are principles that are higher principles than just saying freedom of association or freedom of expression and so on. That is at the cornerstone of a democracy. So where you had the protection of the law to prevent them fellas filling their pockets, and you're now taking that away, then there's our taxpayers' dollars jumping up. It is your wealth, it is your property as taxpayers of this country that will be impacted. I'll develop that point a little more tomorrow in the Parliament, but Faris, don't come with your surat and whatever you come with always about proportionality and proportionality. There is no proportionality. None. None. When you're taking out medical services that you recuse yourself from the cabinet, it means you have an interest. Tell us what it is. Tell us if you have an interest in Alexandra Imogen. Tell us. Why did you recuse yourself? So that's not going to happen. And they're amending another one here, which they're removing, and I really would have to get an explanation for this. They're removing section 13.0, meaning deleting it. I mean, take it out. And this says, an Act 4, the procurement regulator will act for, in the name and on behalf of the state, to dispose of real property owned by the government in such manner as government may consider appropriate and desirable. The procurement regulator. Now, there's an argument that he cannot oversee himself if he is the person doing this, but then who's going to do it? The government? The cabinet? When you remove this from here, real property. What is real property? Land. Petrotrin properties. I mentioned it before. NP properties. The port of Port of Spain. Who is going to dispose of that? You had the law here. May need an amendment, maybe not the procurement regulator, but somebody has to do it other than the government. We cannot have cabinet ministers selling off your assets, taxpayers' assets. When you remove this from the law, that's what's going to happen. So tomorrow we go to Parliament, we go bold, we go brave, we go united and strong, and we will not support this law. We cannot support it in all good conscience. And I ask you all to stand with us, and every right-thinking citizen in this country should call out and condemn the government, what they're trying to do with this piece of law. So as I close, I remind you to stay focused. We have a job to do. Let's get the job done. Leave the haters to themselves, because where we are is a place, what do you say? Naked always tell me, there is love in the house. There's love in the house of the rising sun. May God bless you all. I thank you very much. And on Sunday, come out, cast your vote, come out early. We will do what we can for the COVID protocols, for your safety and for your security. The Commissioner of Police has said he will have regular patrols, again, to ensure safety during our elections on Sunday. God bless you again, and I'll see you, or you'll see me, and you'll see all my MPs tomorrow in the Parliament, and there's blows for them in the Parliament and outside. Thank you. God bless.